Feng Shui can be said to be a product with a very long history. To this day, traces of it can be found in ancient architectural structures passed down by true masters over many generations or woven into our daily lives. It is said that when the I Ching, Book of Changes, was first established, Feng Shui already existed. However, it wasn't called Feng Shui at the time, but had another name. The use of the two words Feng Shui to represent its underlying meaning began during the Jin dynasty. Feng, wind, is something we cannot see or touch. What we can feel is a current of air in motion, like seeing leaves trembling. It feels like there is a certain mysterious spiritual force, yet it can bring about some changes to physical objects. As for Shui, water, we can see it and touch it. Water can adapt to changes in its surrounding environment and change itself accordingly. Water represents the movement and transformation of physical matter that we can observe with the naked eye. That's why ancient people developed a theory to study the laws of the natural geographical environment, which they called Feng Shui. So, does Feng Shui actually have any effect? The answer varies from person to person. In Southeast Asia, there are many people who specialize in the study of Feng Shui. They have grasped some of the principles of Feng Shui from folk traditions and ancient books. Through many years of hard work in searching and verifying, they have discovered that Feng Shui indeed has certain effects. Western scientists have also discovered that the Earth contains phenomena such as energy flows or underground electric currents, and this coincides with Feng Shui theory. Even large commercial centers in the West or the wealthiest business owners in Southeast Asia are no exception. Some even invite Feng Shui masters to calculate specific directions for their business operations. This is quite similar to ancient court astrologers responsible for calculating auspicious timing, or like the priests in the West, who are often mentioned whenever major projects arise. These business owners will consult them for advice on management situations, forecasted phenomena of changing trends, or to discuss important strategic measures. For example, Indian prodigy Abhigya Anand has attracted a great deal of attention over the past 2 years. Anand is known for predicting certain events by observing the orbital movement of celestial bodies, so while many people say they don't believe it, they often don't dare to completely disbelieve either. Today, we're going to talk about a topic related to Feng Shui, and everyone must judge for themselves whether Feng Shui is accurate or not. The shocking deaths of former South Korean presidents. South Korea has long absorbed much of China's traditional culture, so Korean people also tend to believe quite a lot in Feng Shui. South Korea's new president, Yoon Suk Yeol, made it clear that after taking office, he would move his office and conduct presidential duties from a new presidential office located in Yongsan, near the Ministry of National Defense, instead of the Blue House, which had been used by all his predecessors. Although the president stated that the reason was to improve communication with the public and strengthen exchanges with officials among the people, everyone understands the real reason in their hearts, though they don't say it aloud. This broke a decades-long tradition and is likely related to the widely circulated Feng Shui legend surrounding the Blue House presidential residence. The Blue House has long been considered to have bad Feng Shui. After World War II in 1948, North and South Korea established separate governments based on what is now considered a common perspective. From that time onward, almost no South Korean president has had a happy ending. But saying that alone might not be convincing enough, so let's take a look at a shocking timeline. From 1948 to 1960, Syngman Rhee, the first president of South Korea, went into exile abroad. From 1960 to 1962, Yoon Bo-seon faced a coup, was dismissed, and was imprisoned multiple times. From 1963 to 1979, Park Chung-hee was assassinated. From 1979 to 1980, Choi Kyu-ha was forced to resign after a coup and was placed under surveillance. From 1980 to 1988, Chun Do-hwan was sentenced to prison. From 1988 to 1993, Ro Tai-woo was also imprisoned. From 1988 to 1993, Ro Tai-woo was imprisoned. From 1993 to 1998, Kim Young-sam, his son, went to prison, and he himself died in disgrace. From 1998 to 2003, Kim Dae-jung, all three of his sons were imprisoned. From 2003 to 2008, Roh Moo-hyun died by suicide. From 2008 to 2013, Lee Myung-bak was imprisoned. From 2013 to 2017, Park Geun-hye was convicted, dismissed from office, and imprisoned. From 2017 to 2022, Moon Jae-in, immediately after stepping down, was accused by 2,600 people. And following that is the current president, Yoon Suk-yeol. Among the earliest South Korean presidents, some went into exile, some were overthrown by coups, and some were assassinated. Over the past nearly 40 years, it seems that no president has escaped imprisonment. Starting with Chun Do-hwan in 1980, South Korean presidents have either gone to prison themselves, had their sons imprisoned, fallen into disgrace, or taken their own lives. The Korean media responded quickly, reporting that Moon Jae-in, on his very first day after leaving office, May 10th, was immediately accused by 2,600 people of abusing power. In fact, even while Moon Jae-in was still in office, there were already many voices of suspicion surrounding this issue. What his ultimate fate will be remains a mystery. Why does it seem that the fate of South Korean presidents is so unfortunate? As mentioned earlier, Koreans have deep belief in Feng Shui, and South Korea is also the only country in the world that possesses a systematic body of knowledge on Yin Feng Shui, focused on graves and ancestral tombs. Many people study Feng Shui related to the Blue House, and there is often widespread public discussion, along with persistent rumors about a Feng Shui-related talisman associated with the residence. Park Min-chan is a well-known Feng Shui master in South Korea, regarded as the 34th generation successor of Grand Master Doseon, a famous Buddhist monk in Korean history. His teacher passed down secret knowledge to him through oral and meditative transmission. In addition, Park has used scientific methods to validate the existence of Feng Shui geography. Years ago, he conducted an experiment where he arranged participants in a laboratory in Seoul and then took reproductive cells from 5 of them to Daejeon, a different city located 167 kilometers away. After the experiment began, he struck one of the 5 participants from behind, startling the man. In the lab in Daejeon, 167 kilometers away, the man's reproductive cells showed a similar startled reaction. Several Korean TV networks reported on it, suggesting the experiment proved that living beings share a connection across time and space. 2 weeks before former President Roh Moo-hyun died by suicide, Park Min-chan had predicted something bad would happen. He also made accurate predictions about South Korea's presidential elections. According to him, Feng Shui treats the Earth as a living body, with interconnected parts like meridians and acupoints. Energy, EQI, flows along these lines and gathers at specific points. From individuals to nations, whether things go well or poorly is closely related to geomantic principles. South Korean presidents, whether in office or after, have often met unfortunate ends, believed to be due to flaws in the Blue House's Feng Shui configuration. The Blue House originally benefited from the classic Feng Shui configuration of azure dragon on the left, white tiger on the right, with the left representing the green dragon and the right symbolizing the white tiger. However, the Feng Shui on the left side, the dragon side, has a flaw, causing vital energy to escape from that area. Additionally, the Yonhwansen mountain behind the Blue House is barren and exposes rocky terrain, which is considered inauspicious. These unfavorable conditions have been said to contribute to ongoing power struggles between opposing political factions, further intensifying social instability. With such a Feng Shui flaw, can it be fixed? The answer is no. Park Min-chan stated that it is extremely difficult to establish a favorable energy configuration at the current location of the Blue House. In other words, the Feng Shui defect here is beyond remedy. However, regarding the issue of site relocation, Park did propose several suggestions. He believed that if South Korea were to relocate its capital, it could truly lead to national prosperity. The ideal site, according to him, is Daejeon, a city in central South Korea located 167 kilometers from Seoul. Former philosophy professor Kim Baek-hyun of Gangneung Wonju National University also analyzed the Blue House. Although it has a mountain at the back and water in front, seemingly matching the ideal Feng Shui formation of a dragon resting against a mountain, in reality the mountain behind it is not a Myeongsan. In Feng Shui, a Myeongsan refers to a mountain with lush vegetation, gentle slopes, and a harmonious shape without jagged or harsh terrain. However, in Wangsan, the mountain behind the Blue House, is part of a rugged range with steep cliffs and sharp rocks, making it impossible to form a continuous dragon vein and resulting in insufficient earth energy. Furthermore, the Blue House is painted in dark tones, and even its name evokes a sense of coldness and isolation, which unintentionally creates a suppressive atmosphere over the nation's political center, making it vulnerable to ominous signs at any time. Public discussion about this has been vibrant, and South Korea's largest media outlet, Jungang Ilbo, once published a serious article on the matter. The article noted that 700 years ago, King Taejo Yisonggye, the founder of the Joseon dynasty, constructed Gyeongbokgung Palace near the current location of the Blue House. Gyeongbokgung is considered an auspicious site, land suited for the living, whereas its extended rear area, now the site of the Blue House, is regarded as an inauspicious site, or land associated with spirits or deities. Thus, people who reside there are believed to be more prone to misfortune. The fact that many South Korean presidents have met unfortunate ends is still the subject of various interpretations. Besides the unfavorable Feng Shui of the Blue House, another factor often mentioned is the national flag of South Korea. In the center lies the Taeguk symbol, but surrounding it are only 4 trigrams, not the full 8 used in the I Ching. Some believe that if all 8 trigrams were present, it would align with the Feng Shui principle of balance and stability, but the current design with only 4 is considered less auspicious. Nevertheless, many Korean cultural experts still point to the location of the Blue House as the core issue, saying it sits on a geomantically cursed land, suppressing the dragon vein flowing from Mount Baekaksan into Seoul. A popular proverb says, first destiny, second luck, third Feng Shui. Destiny is determined by heaven, Feng Shui by the earth's energy, and virtue by human actions. Therefore, destiny that comes from heaven is naturally considered within Feng Shui, while Feng Shui that originates from the earth is placed before human actions, such as cultivating virtue and reading books. In ancient times, people even believed that Feng Shui had a greater power to alter one's fate than education. As South Korea continues to be influenced by traditional Chinese cultural philosophies, it's no surprise that the new president, Yoon Suk-yeol, was determined to relocate his office. The belief that Feng Shui can influence a nation's destiny remains strong. In fact, Grand Master Park Min-chan once mentioned several little-known insights. He revealed that the Feng Shui of a country not only affects that nation's fortune, but can also influence the entire world. He explained that from the perspective of Feng Shui theory, if one connects the capitals of South Korea and North Korea, the Korean peninsula forms an S shape. This resembles the Taiji symbol representing the dynamic balance of yin and yang, the ever-flowing interaction of opposing forces. He even spoke of something more astonishing. He claimed that the unique geographic Feng Shui formation of the Korean peninsula contributed to the eventual dissolution of the former Soviet Union. The effect of this Feng Shui in the material world is tied to a little-known incident between the leaders of the Soviet Union and South Korea before the Soviet collapse. In 1988, Seoul hosted the Olympics. At that time, Gorbachev, then leader of the Soviet Union, visited South Korea despite ongoing tensions following the Korean War. What shocked him was the stark contrast. North Koreans were suffering from extreme poverty, while South Korea was rapidly prospering. During a meeting with the South Korean president on Jeju Island, Gorbachev asked how South Korea had achieved such growth. The president replied, "If you want to learn, I will teach you, but only if you keep your promise." He laid out two conditions. First, abandon the Soviet-style socialist system. Second, divide your oversized country into smaller regions. 2 years later, on December 25, 1991, Gorbachev resigned, and the following day, the Soviet Union officially declared its dissolution. What Park Min-chan intended to express was that the Feng Shui created by the geographic alignment of North and South Korea played a role in shaping the historic interaction between the Soviet and Korean leaders at that time. Park also asserted that ancestral tomb Feng Shui affects the fate of descendants. He analyzed that the ruling Kim dynasty in North Korea was able to maintain its grip on power partly because they occupied a portion of the Ming Tang, a sacred geomantic area often referred to as a Feng Shui treasure site. However, Park firmly claimed that the Kim family's rule would not extend beyond 3 generations. The current leader, Kim Jong-un, marks the end. He explained that both Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il were not buried traditionally, but instead preserved as dry corpses, which in Feng Shui terms severs the continuation of the family's dragon vein, thus cutting off their inherited power. In this way, that action severed the continuation of the family's Feng Shui line. According to Feng Shui principles, a person is considered the crystallized essence of their parents' energy and therefore a vessel of both yin and yang. Every living person carries within them the dual energies of yin and yang. When a person dies, their physical body disappears, but the dual energies of yin and yang do not vanish. If the deceased is buried properly, their vital energy enters the burial site, forming Sheng Qi. This life force, combined with harmonious energy and the immortal flow of yin and yang, silently protects the living family members and influences their fate and well-being. However, ever since Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il were preserved as dry corpses, the ancestral Feng Shui of their family has likely lost its ability to bless descendants. It may sound mystical, but could it be true? Only time will tell. When it comes to Feng Shui, how much do people actually believe? From a scientific standpoint, there are some foundations. Of course, not everything that exists can be explained by science, but we can begin with what has been discovered. Modern physics has shown that all matter is interconnected through a transcendent relationship. In quantum physics, this connection is called quantum entanglement, a phenomenon where time and space are no longer absolute boundaries. This is a long story. Modern science was born in the West, while ancient Western religion, philosophy, and alchemy may seem outwardly at odds with it. Yet deep down, they share an inseparable inner connection. In the Bible, God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. The fact that light was created on the very first day is enough to show its extraordinary importance. Many people know that quantum physics, a field gaining much attention today, actually stems from humanity's effort to understand light. In quantum physics, light is both a wave and a particle, a concept known as wave-particle duality. Furthermore, light exhibits uncertainty. If we determine its position, we cannot know its speed, and if we measure its speed, we cannot know its position. This shows that humans can never fully grasp the true nature of a photon. Phenomena that cannot be explained through classical physics are now referred to by scholars as quantum phenomena. Over the past 100 years, physics has seen the rise of many brilliant minds who proposed strange and fascinating theories. Their ideas were so unconventional that at times it became hard to tell who was a scientist and who was a philosopher. Many of them, in fact, were awarded Nobel Prizes. One example is British scientist Roger Penrose, who proposed a theory about the structure of the universe. He suggested that the universe we live in could be continuously splitting. Every time we observe it, it divides once more. All of these split universes continue to exist in parallel. This means that every possibility exists simultaneously, but we only live in one of them and cannot perceive the others. In one parallel universe, society might have developed just like ours, but perhaps nuclear weapons were invented earlier than in our timeline, or John F. Kennedy was never assassinated. Perhaps even the person watching this video, yes, you, also exists in another version of reality. What do you think of that idea? Earlier, we mentioned that in quantum physics there is a phenomenon known as quantum entanglement. Scientists have stated that between two or more quantum systems, there exists a powerful, non-classical connection. It may sound complicated, but put simply, no matter how far apart two particles are, and regardless of time and space, they do not require any physical link. They can still act in perfect harmony. This is the essence of quantum entanglement. When we apply this theory to the cellular and Feng Shui experiments we discussed earlier, it seems surprisingly fitting. If that's the case, then nothing in the universe is truly isolated. Everything is part of a unified natural connection, what ancient traditions referred to as the harmony between heaven, earth, and humanity. Concepts like geomantic Feng Shui and human destiny no longer sound so mystical. Feng Shui experiments at their core begin with the earth, treating it as the central reference point, and from there, they attempt to uncover the hidden mysteries of the cosmos. Therefore, practices like Feng Shui, doing good deeds, and cultivating virtue to turn misfortune into fortune may not be without foundation. Within these seemingly mystical ideas may lie ancient wisdom. The renowned quantum physicist and Nobel laureate Pauli once made a thought-provoking statement. Quantum physics is a science born from alchemy. Such a statement is almost an acknowledgement that modern science is, in some ways, mimicking or inheriting ancient knowledge systems. It's just that modern humans are still in the process of development and have yet to fully understand it. What about you? Do you believe in the power of Feng Shui? Do you think the theory of Feng Shui, which describes the interconnectedness between the individual, the nation, and the world, has merit? If you have any thoughts, feel free to share them in the comments. Perhaps borders, divisions, and separations are nothing more than illusions. That's all for today's discussion. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Wishing you a wonderful day. See you next time.